Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Kickback TV live from Atlanta. I am New the Mayor, the righteous ratchet
This guy.
That's all you are today?
today.
Okay. Well, I am Melanie Deanna, aka So Mellow, aka the Militant Mrs.
I am JB Frank, aka the nerd with attitude. Always represent you gangster geeks. What's good, y'all? Happy Sunday, Happy New Year, Merry
Happy
Christmas,
New Year.
all of
Happy
that.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa.
Yeah, we all took a break for the holidays.
Yeah.
So happy all of them holidays.
Everything. Happy everything.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Kickback TV, we had a ball, young. We
Slim.
spent most of the holidays together, right?
Yeah. If you're in our group on any of our Facebook pages, you saw the New Year's celebration, the brunch that followed on New Year's Day. Shout out to Mel and Greg for the brunch. And y'all saw all of that: crab legs, pancakes,
Everything.
Steaks. Yeah.
most endless mimosas.
Man, it was a fun day, man, and it's been a hell of a time, man. While we were off, man, a lot to talk about, dude. Crazy-ish. Crazy.
We almost couldn't even condense the show properly,
Right.
because there was so much to talk about. We are going to talk about Donald Trump and this whole thing of Putin and Russia. We are going to talk about the four black teenagers that attacked the white special needs kid. We're going to talk about the white football teammates that raped a black teammate with a coat hanger.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about
well, of course, we got to talk about Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's the first thing I mentioned.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to talk about Chris Brown and Soulja.
Yes.
First, we're going to talk about Omika. Niki and Meek Mill have broken up. And it's only really news because of how Meek is responding. Anybody want to break that story down before I rip Meek apart?
Okay, so basically, Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj have been in a relationship for 2 years, and they just recently broke up due to the fact that we are now finding out, thanks to Meek, that Nicki Minaj got pregnant and did not want to have the baby, and he wanted to keep the baby, so boom, they went their separate ways, I guess, after she had the abortion, I'm assuming. Either way, they're now no longer together. She was pregnant. We didn't need to know that.
Right.
We didn't. You know? All we needed to, we didn't need to know they broke up, but celebrity gossip, we need to know that they broke up, but we didn't need to know all the specific details as to why. That's something very personal, especially for a woman, who has had an abortion. I wouldn't want for anybody to have to put that information out, without myself volunteering it. That's not cool. And he looks like a real weak ass man doing that. So
thank you for offering the female perspective, Mel, because I'm going to give kind of the other side to that coin, because I think most dudes feel the same way, right? Like, there's a term for this, but I'm not going to use that term.
Nah, JB, use it. Kickback TV live from Atlanta.
Bitch made. Like, this is bitch made work. Like, as a grown man, I was raised that you never air your dirty laundry about a relationship, regardless of whether you in it, you out it, because guess what? Whatever shit she did, you couldn't handle your woman, bruh. Like, that's how you look in the field, player. Come on, man. Like, it's just whack all the way. Like, every time Meek Mill is in social media or finds himself in the media news, I find myself losing more respect for him, not only as an artist, but as a man. And I have a bigger problem with that.
Real shit. My take on it, honestly, is it's not any of my business. Like, it's just not. It's like,
nobody's business.
I don't understand why he's doing that. I go, okay, he's doing it because when Niki made her announcement, which was quote unquote PC, you know, how she made it, and it made everybody think that she broke up with him. And I can understand, you know, maybe he feels like he's taking too many losses. The Drake thing, and this thing, and the Sean Kingston thing, and that thing, and the Wale thing, and now the Niki thing. Like, no more.
Right.
The game got on too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you this part, but I just wouldn't do that on the girl beef. I'm just not gonna volunteer information unless she starts mudslinging. I gotta save my rep. But she wasn't mudslinging.
This ain't really mud though, New. Like real talk. Like this was a personal decision that she made. He didn't agree with it, but she made this decision.
Not
you know, it is what it is. Like it's an aspect.
Heard about it. I do believe that.
Well, yes, but we're not gonna say it was like cheating or it was.
It was nothing like that. But it was still what it was.
He hurt her. I mean, she hurt him. We cannot deny that. Yes.
Apparently, it looks that way. And I understand that pain, but I don't understand airing it out on social media.
It's not cool.
It's just not. It's not gangster, man.
Nah, not at all. Yeah. Not at all.
Twitter fingers turn to, what do you say? Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
Bad look.
So Meek, you get a thumbs down. But moving right along, another beef.
Utter stupidity
is brewing in hip hop. And it's not Niki and Meek. No. It's Chris Brown and Big Soulja. You gotta call him Big Soulja.
Yeah. Because you know,
new name.
That's his
really,
name.
Really, dude. That makes
Big
it even
Soulja.
whacker. Like he is. Come on, young.
I'm gonna give you guys a little backstory.
Let's get this over with.
So, Chris Brown and Soulja Boy, you know, are famous for their musical contributions to the culture, and they both relocated to California, where they both were, brought in, allowed in, jumped in to the gang culture, more specifically the Fruittown Pyrus, and for the which is the gang in Compton, a neighborhood in Compton, and for the most part, that neighborhood, that gang is ran by Whack 100, who is the game's manager and noted, reputable, reputable, whatever gang member. So. As legend goes, Soulja Boy liked one of Karuchi Karate Chop pictures, and that's what I call it, Karate Chop. He liked one of her pictures, which is of course Chris Brown's ex-girlfriend, which of course means Chris Brown got mad and called Soulja Boy on the phone like, "Don't be liking her pictures, nigga.
Whack.
I'm gonna fuck you up if you like them pictures again. Don't be liking them pictures."
Whack.
Now he's done that against the game, against several people.
You
may not even like her picture.
It's Bama shit though, young. Let's call it what it is.
It's lame as fuck.
Yeah, come on, young.
Lame as fuck.
Come on, man.
And Soulja Boy could have had a grown man response to say, "Chris, don't ever call my phone with this dumb shit again, son, little boy."
Right.
Instead, he decided to go to social media and complain. So now he's on the internet. "Chris, you a bitch, and fuck you, and don't be calling my phone because I like one of Karuchi's pictures. She don't even want you." And he went on to talk about him and being a bad father to his daughter, him being on drugs. Really awful. So he went, all the way there with it. And then Chris Brown came back, called him a bitch and a lame, and he was gonna fuck him up. So now they're making these social media threats against each other.
And saying real personal shit, like real Chris personal. Brown talking about he living with his
Sean
Kingston's mother.
Yeah, like come on, young, like I was like, dog, like
it's what was that word you used? Bitch made.
Yeah,
that's what women do.
Come on, young.
No.
Moving along. So back to Sean.
We don't do that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and that's why we call it bitch made, and we don't call respectable women that word, right? Like we're using a pejorative term to describe a behavior.
Everything
Thank you
JB
for
said.
covering for him.
Yeah, I'm not covering just for
him.
Well, it's not just for him because I use that word a lot.
But you didn't say it the way that he said it, so there's different connotation behind it. So, but yeah, Soulja Boy, Weakling.
So she.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this whole. I mean, it's
whack.
funny to look at, but it's really just stupid but at the end of the day.
It's not funny though because it speaks to like what we're doing as dudes out here right now.
I mean,
you know?
but
that's why it's not funny to me.
Yeah, and then it's now going on pay-per-view.
Yeah, you got 50 involved. Floyd Mayweather's going to train Soulja Boy.
Mike Tyson's training Chris Brown.
Yeah, training Chris Brown. 50 Cent is promoting.
Really, so it's going to be skinny ass dudes flail at each other in a ring.
Well, I mean, if I were a betting woman, my money would be on Chris Brown.
These are the kind of niggas that you don't even hit with a closed hand because you scared you might.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot of slack.
Like you just kind of mush these kind. Like it's like, bruh, like let me give you a.
Did you see the video of Soulja Boy fighting, like swinging? He was like fighting the air. Oh man, it was terrible. Cause he was
gloves look heavy. The gloves look heavy.
And then he's like,
he looked like Ronda Rousey in that joke.
Kevin on the bike, and he looked like he was like a baby deer trying to figure out his coordination on the shit. Like he just looked all kind of crazy.
It was bad.
Make them tracks, bro.
Yeah, do something, please. But it's supposed to be a fight. There's supposed to be an undercard. 21 Savage is supposed to be boxing 22 Savage for the right to have the name Savage.
Why?
And
this is
NBA veterans Tim Thomas and Kenyon Martin are supposed to be boxing as well.
This is
because they had a beef since elementary school.
For this shit.
It's a card.
Let's put in Meek and Drake. I'm just saying.
Let's add Meek and Drake. Hot damn, man. Great idea. Let's get Meek and Drake. We can't get Meek and Drake. Let's get Meek and Nicki.
No.
Let's get something.
Please.
Damn.
Please,
I mean, since we just
tired.
If we're gonna pay $1.99 for this fight, I want my money's worth.
Man, it's gonna be stupid.
Speaking of stupid, let's move on. Because can we stop talking about these children?
Let's talk about some adults, stupid adults.
Well, I mean, and the Shut Up Stupid Award. Let's get it, man. Let's go. And this one is somewhat controversial because of the context and the pretext. To allow me to break it down. So, Bobby Bowden does an interview on Mike and Mike where they're talking about his coaching experience, his career, his life, and he begins to talk about his players. And he begins to lament the fact that a lot of times he had to coach what he calls, boys who weren't real men. And he begins to speak about the lack of a male influence in their lives. Yeah, I coached a lot of boys who grew up without fathers. That was unfortunate because these boys didn't know how to be men. But the way he carried it in the video was just...
They wearing earrings because they're trying to be their mothers.
They learn how to be men from women. So, he was saying that kind of shit. And it was just...
And he kept trying to couch it like he was playing. But, sometimes you do that just so motherfuckers don't get on you. I'm just playing. Nigga,
Mike and Mike were definitely uncomfortable. I saw the interview and they were like,
right.
You talking about, all of your star athletes, nigga. Everybody who got you a ring. Come on, young. You talking about Ward Dunn, the dude who won NFL Man of the Year. Oh yes, if you look him up, he was raised by a single female. NFL Man of the Year, Man of the Year.
And he's still doing great things.
What the fuck are you talking about, Bobby Bowden?
Yeah, it was just an ignorant statement. It reminded me. It kind of echoed those George Carl statements that he was saying about Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin, and J.R. Smith. It's just disgusting. These white men. I will say Bobby Bowden. I don't think that he was talking solely about African American players though, because the bulk of his players were white. So he wasn't
coached
talking
in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. Football was different then. A lot of white boy linemen. So
right. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know if it was racially motivated, but it was definitely insensitive to mothers and insensitive to men who were raised by single mothers. I was raised by a single mother who happened to be my aunt. You know what I'm saying? My mother and my aunt raised me. My mother until I was about 12, then my aunt had me after that. And I knew how to find male role models. I knew to seek out male role models. And I was fortunate enough to have male role models seek me out and have my aunt provide me with the opportunity to meet certain men.
Well, let's talk about how your aunt and women like your aunt act as filters for the bad influences as well. Like, they keep the thug punks away from you. And this kind of statement belittles that level of mentorship and raising. We are talking about people who are already exceptional individuals. These are scholarship athletes. You know, these are world-class athletes. So they're already on the right road. Like, clearly the moms provided the male guidance. Like, they made it happen. You know what I'm saying? So what are you talking about? That's, like, that was the depth of the insult to me. But it's common, though. We hear it in the media all the time. Mel, it's prevalent. So you got to look at Bobby Bowden and say, is Bobby Bowden to be blamed solely for making these statements, or is Bobby Bowden to be blamed for echoing?
We're going to blame him for making them. We're going to blame him for making them.
Okay.
Fuck you, Bobby Bowden. And then, and then
we're also going to blame the influences.
Yeah. All right. This is a little change. This is a little different. I want to not set the mood, but I want to make sure I stress the seriousness of these next stories. There was a story in Chicago where 4 African American teenagers kidnapped and brutalized a white, mentally challenged teenager. They pretty much tortured him. They pretty much tortured this kid.
24 plus hours. They held him captive.
And then on Facebook Live, which is something I want to talk about, because as you know, we do our show on Facebook Live. And they're advertising, use Facebook Live, use Facebook Live. And people are using Facebook Live for some despicable shit.
Yes, they
are. We're actually doing a television show where we're doing a Black Love boycott, and we're talking about politics, and people are using this completely different. It's ignorance. It's deplorable. I make no excuse for
their lives completely different and horrible. This is not the way you would respond to Donald Trump being in the White House.
This is also Chicago, which is like a virtual war zone. So I don't know if they have this sense of invincibility there.
It's ready-made crazy born from prevalent violence. When you are you know, we know this from growing up in D.C. when crack destroyed our community. We saw acts of, we heard of, we saw, we were around acts of deplorable violence that we just how can I even imagine this? But it's a part of what's going on in Chicago right now, a bigger issue, a bigger problem. Thank you for pointing that out, Mel. Very important. Very important.
Yeah, this whole situation is crazy. People are considering it a hate crime, which makes me laugh a little bit.
Right.
Because I don't think black people can be racist. Racism and white supremacy is systems of power that deny a certain group of people their inalienable rights based on the color of their skin. Black people don't have the right to deny anybody. So I can't see us as racist.
That's separate from it being a hate crime, though.
So you think it's a hate crime against mentally challenged people?
It was a hate crime against a mentally challenged white person. They explicitly said yes.
Well, and I think we're getting into a matter of definition, and I'm not going to disparage anyone's definition, but what we do need to do is add clarity, because I think what we're trying to do is define what happened in the context of other things that have also been happening and things that have happened to us. You know, there's an old adage here that I think directly applies. 2 wrongs don't make a right. which means that you cannot excuse black people targeting innocent white people because white people targeted innocent black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because when you do that, real talk, like, you know, on some, I hate to put it this way, on some white people stuff, America, you start to make excuses for the terrorists. You know, and we can never do that. But what we can do is we can acknowledge how our own actions or how white people's actions affect our actions. These young kids are desperate. These young kids see no end, no out, no nothing. Mm-hmm. But what they do know from what they see every goddamn day is that violence is effective. Violence brings money. Violence brings power. Violence protects me. There's a white man coming into the White House now that, wow.
And they don't even see a future for themselves. They're not thinking about what they're doing.
Let's talk about that, y'all.
They're just acting.
I totally agree, but there are white children that are doing these same atrocious crimes. Mm-hmm. We have the white kid that on the football team that raped one of his African American teammates.
Yes, he did.
You know, stuck a coat hanger, also mentally disabled, stuck a coat hanger up his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and raped him with it. Then start kicking it with his foot to make it go deeper. And he went to court and was placed on probation.
Slap on the wrist.
And pled down.
Mm-hmm.
Pled guilty. I've never heard of this charge in my life, but he pled to violent sexual assault with a foreign object. That was literally the charge that he was convicted of. Literally what
service.
Like, and he got 300 hours of community service and a $50,000 fine, which his parents wrote a check for that day.
Slap on the wrist.
This man anally raped another individual. Like, how can we distinguish these two crimes? Because they are both deplorable. Mm-hmm. They are both acts of, treasonous violence.
Yeah, these aren't, arguments or punches and jabs. These are the worst crimes imaginable. This is torture and rape.
Yeah, if we were at war, we would be executing soldiers for doing these types of things. Mm-hmm. All of these individuals, in my opinion, who, correct me if I'm wrong, belong in federal prison.
They all do. And somebody else that belongs in federal prison, JB, is Vladimir Putin and his regime in Russia that have worked together to elect Trump, apparently. Mm-hmm. The CIA has released documents, some documents, I'll say they have more, but they've released a few that have implicated Vladimir Putin and his cohorts in what we'll call the influencing campaign for the United States election. Now, that's a foreign country, Russia, manipulating information here, intellectual property here, to help influence the outcome of a presidential election.
We've been able to tie this directly to a foreign leader.
Mm-hmm. Completely undermining our democratic process.
And completely. Donald Trump is still in awe. So we have a lot to say about this, right? Yeah, a lot.
We're gonna say it right now.
So let me start with this. Fuck CNN. I'm gonna say it out loud. Fuck CNN, because the first article that you showed us, that you gave us, which I read, was a CNN article that broke down all the shit that the CIA found, the paperwork, the hacking, everything. And by the way, y'all, Green Bay is mollywopping New York right now. It's over. It's all the way over.
Shout out to everybody that's tuned in because they're tired of watching that game. What up, Facebook Live?
Slaughterhouse.
Anyway, so and basically it was a slaughterhouse on our cybernetic system during the electoral process. Like they fed counter media groups inside information about the Clinton organization, the Clinton State Department. They fed them personal information about the Clintons and what was going on during the campaign. They funded organizations who generated ads in the U.S. against, like, why is Donald Trump still in office, and why is CNN painting the picture that they did this to undermine the governmental process? No, America, they did this to put Donald Trump in office. Let's start with that.
Facts.
Let's start with that before we start really cussing, because that's what's really dangerous. They put a specific motherfucker in the White House, and we just gonna let it ride.
You already see what he's doing.
I'm angry.
You already see what he's doing with the former CEO of Exxon, who has a wonderful relationship with Putin. Mm-hmm. So we see exactly what he's doing. As I told people that voted for Trump, I don't know those people. I know people who didn't vote for Hillary. I know people who thought they were righteous voting for Jill Stein. And I'm putting my whole hand in them motherfuckers. The whole hand at these motherfuckers. So I blame them for Trump being put in a position to do these things. So I don't know who's running our country right now. Is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be Pence? Or is it going to be Putin?
It's going to be Putin. I feel like
who's
Donald
running
Trump
America
is just
now?
this little pawn. Like, we don't even know how deep this is about to go. And Donald Trump is so in denial. Even after the meeting that he had with all the intelligence agencies presenting him with all the information that they have, he's still kind of like not willing to admit that they interfered with the election.
Because they helped him.
Yeah.
He's not going to admit it.
He does not want to admit it.
Him admitting that puts him at a disadvantage.
Here's what's scary. The beer hall push in 1925 thought that Adolf Hitler was a puppet, and they sponsored his coup. They basically backed him for the chancellorship of Germany. He eventually ran Germany, and we saw what happened. Like, you got to be careful when you pick a puppet, because you pick somebody crazy enough to go along with your plan. So what is his plan? You see what I'm saying?
Boom. Boom.
That, let's start really using our game theory, our gangster game theory, and breaking down what Donald Trump's power move is, because that's what we have to be wary of.
So many parallels between him and Hitler. It's ridiculous, and people are refusing to acknowledge that. And I'm just like sitting back here twiddling my thumbs, like, we just
what is that gonna do to our country, y'all? Like, what are we in for?
We're in for the longest 4 years of our lives, and I'm banging into this over. So everybody that voted for Jill Stein or didn't vote for Hillary, didn't do what they needed to do to make sure Trump didn't get into office, I'm banging on you for the next 4 years. Fuck about you. But on a brighter note, we're going to take a musical break. We're going to come back and talk about how you stick to your New Year's resolutions / goals. Because I don't make resolutions, I make goals. So we're going to talk about how you stick to them, our best practices. You'll see how Mel got in shape, JB switched everything around, and how I became a muscular monster that you see before you today.
Just telling lies.
Awful. Yeah,
y'all know something else. You know that? Y'all could let me have my moment.
Hey, so this first video, y'all notice we changed the format a little bit. It's a little more condensed, but we're rocking with our stuff, so y'all can actually see the videos when you get the broadcast later on
YouTube.
Yeah, baby. So we rocking out with New to Mayor. This is an old classic New to Mayor hit from DC. What year did this come out?
2010, 11, 10, something like that.
He old as shit. Point at him with
my
whole hand, cause he old. Whole time, New to Mayor.
Whole time.
Here we go, y'all. Let's get it.
Whole time.
The camera crew is outside. We have movement.
They here?
Yes,
without the music bed. You got some rock in yours, but you got boo in his. I valet the car, free drinks at the bar. DJ say it's new to mayor on the mic like I'm a star. Are you in the club 8? Faking like an actress. Your whole squad is softer than my $1,000.
Alright, man, new to mayor whole time. Shit, we like, give me for 24 hours. We'll show you exactly what we're gonna do. We'll get fresh haircut, go shopping. We got the police party concert tonight. Maybe play with the food, watch some movies. Something's gonna be crazy. GOV like the whole time. New to mayor, let's go. 24 hours, baby.
You have to mayor. Chill. New Hefner. What up, DMV? We getting money, whole time. Reppin' DC, whole time. We getting money, whole time. Reppin' DC, whole time. Whole time. Doing this whole time. Doing this whole time. Doing this whole time. Man, you're back. Doing this whole time. Your girl named Christmas, and she ain't got a lot to say. She did say she only comes around the holiday. She said she had some problems, told her let this rapper solve them. We can mix my banana with her apple bottom. And that's a fruit salad, and my style is too tragic. Every day I create new addicts like blue magic. Now that's a double entendre, I'm a double up monster. This is GOV life. What the fuck is up, partner? I know Eric Clay, the real Eric Clay. A pizza every Friday, that's the GOV way. Stay fresh and prosper, get money, you'll get nothing if you swinging everything. You bound to hit something. Best time to plant a tree 100 years ago. Second best time right now in the studio. I stamp this beat, it's nothing to stamp. I got the hood open like a mechanic. Been getting money whole time. Reppin' DC whole time. Been getting money whole time. Reppin' DC whole time. Doing this whole time. Doing this whole time. Doing this whole time. Doing this whole time. I ain't stressed in the head, cause the money's gon' come. And if that in my bed, then that honey's gon' come. You like this? Yeah, my life's this. Just go like this biff while I write this hit, you know. New to mayor on is busy, successful like I'm Drizzy. The young boy, get busy. I drink until I'm dizzy or till the bottle empty. I don't like big girls, I like them supermodel skinny. That's on fat, mad at me, that supermodel envy. Need a new bottle of Henny, that's the new model, you hear me? They ask, what kind of bull am I on? I'm like Dylan. So self-absorbed, dog, it's still about me. Never let you say how I should feel about me. I do what I wanna do, move how I wanna move. You don't wanna get hit, then get from in front of you. Money whole time, reppin' DC whole time. Get money whole time, reppin' DC whole time. Doing this whole time. Doing this whole time. Doing this whole time. Doing this whole time. Shorty said last time you couldn't get hard. Every time you come back, it's right, she call you Brett Favre. Said you laid down on her, she said stop. That's a whole new meaning, you be tiring on top. I'm in the street or the club, really can't stand the house. Drinking high price champagne, I really can't pronounce. GOV life, hell yeah, it's a buffalo. In a piece of popping bottles with my little brother Gutter. And spending nachos with my got those. If we don't hit number one, y'all gon' say we got close. Y'all gon' say we got O's. Y'all gon' say we not those fake knows. Rappers who don't got flows. Everybody wants to know why. It's the models and bottles and bears, oh my. Just that uptown swagger. Look how uptown had her. Got her going downtown. On a uptown rapper. Been getting money whole time. Since hip it the whole time. Rapping DC whole time. So you know I'm gon' shine. Been getting money whole time. Since hip it the whole time. Rapping DC whole time. You know I'm gon' shine. Whole time, whole time. Doing this whole time. Whole time, whole time. Doing this whole time. Whole time, whole time. Doing this whole time. Whole time, whole time. Doing this whole time.
Welcome back.
Is who we're looking at for the NFL MVP, because y'all are talking Le'Veon and Zeke, valid candidates.
And
He wasn't top 5.
Missing for 4 games.
But I will give him this. The games that he played, he averaged 150 total yards from scrimmage. That is the 3rd highest total in the history of the NFL.
There it is.
Now, he didn't have to do over 16 games. He was lucky to have an abbreviated schedule. See, I look at it differently than you. You give him extra credit because he didn't play the full season. I take away points because I wonder if he could have kept it up for a full season.
I think he could have.
Well,
I mean, he's been consistent for the last few seasons. So
what we're doing is thinking. No.
No, we're. I mean,
saying that he could have had good games.
Performs.
Right, but the difference is saying that he could have had other good games as opposed to him having miraculous games. Like, he played 12 games this year. They were all pretty much amazing. Now, there's no guarantee. Well, one of them was. He had like 11 out of 12 that were pretty fucking good games. The thinking is, yeah, 4 more games to that. Did he have a chance to mess up? Because what they did with Zeke beat him by, Zeke averaged 100 yards a game. So, I mean, Zeke played better than him, period. There's no way around it. He didn't do anything Zeke did except catch a couple more passes. But Zeke got more touchdowns. So you can balance it out. But the thing is, Zeke did not play game 16. Zeke only played the first half of game 17. And then Zeke's rookie game, he got his initial game, the game against the Redskins, he got taken out in the second half. So he didn't play that half. So Zeke technically played 14 games. 2 more games than Le'Veon Bell, but his numbers are more ridiculous than Le'Veon's.
No, let's not be ridiculous.
No, they are. His numbers are just
without the numbers. But let's look at Dak Prescott's numbers as a quarterback. I mean, his efficiency is off the charts. He is the catalyst behind the record, because we cannot argue that when the Dallas Cowboys need a play, and they have needed plays to win some of the games that they have, that Dak has made those plays. So, you know, my argument for NFL MVP is Dak Prescott. You know, I'll leave it at that. You know, there are valid arguments for others, though.
Our Facebook group voted for Dak.
Did
and
they?
Zeke, they were tied.
I need to see that, and that just went up
Yeah.
today. So that's,
Nah, I put it. It was out
there's
on
an asterisk
Thursday.
by that. No, it wasn't.
I put it out on Thursday.
I don't remember
You
seeing
didn't
it on
vote?
Thursday.
Okay, so who are y'all's votes then? Who did you vote for?
I voted for Zeke.
Okay.
You voted for a couple people.
Well, I voted. No, you voted for.
I know
I
I
voted
did.
for
like
I
4
voted
people.
for 2.
I did.
I voted for Dak and Zeke.
I did too.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Le'Veon Bell because I added him to it. I also added Matt Ryan. No, I didn't add him. I didn't add him. He was already on there, but I did vote for him.
You voted for everybody that wasn't a Cowboy.
No, because I didn't vote for Tom Brady, and I didn't vote for somebody else either.
You voted for like 7 people.
No, I voted for like 4
That's a lot.
out of the 8.
4 out of 8. That's a lot.
So half.
I voted for 2 people.
And they were both Cowboys.
Because I think it should be. You are something else. You know that? You are something else.
You're welcome.
This is what happened when Redskins don't make the playoffs because they can't win the game.
This is just
it wasn't like nobody cheated on them. They weren't good enough to make it. That's what happened.
As a Redskins fan, some of us are a little more emotional than others, but that,
Put
you know,
your whole hand at me.
Yeah. I mean, the vote is the vote.
It ain't even got to do with the Redskins. It has more of has more to do with my deep hate for your team.
I can't.
Why do you hate my team?
There's a difference.
Why do you hate my team?
I can't deny the hate. Moreover,
I hate
also
their
have
annoying
to
ass fans.
Yeah, I have to respect the hate too. Real talk, like.
You want something else.
Moreover, I kind of appreciate the hate.
At least I'm honest about my hate.
I mean, yeah, admitting you're honest about your hate, I guess that gets you 1 point, but it's still.
You'll never get respect from me.
The greatest winners respect their enemies and even defeat.
Except, Redskins fans aren't built that way. Unfortunately.
You can't say that about all Redskins fans.
Not all, just most. You're the minority. You're the minority. Like, don't even sit up here and be like, yeah.
I didn't say I wasn't, but
okay. Most of them are like the militant misses over here.
Come on, y'all. It's 8:25. Cause we all sit here and argue
about how great the Cowboys are.
No.
We winning the Super Bowl.
So Hidden
They
Figures.
say the Giants players.
That is the question. That is the question.
Okay.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
So to start the season, I said it would be the Arizona Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
I am happy to admit I was wrong on one of those. It won't be the Arizona Cardinals beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll be the Dallas Cowboys beating the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
You say Redskins and Ravens.
No. I'm rooting for either the Atlanta Falcons, go Falcons, or the Green Bay Packers to defeat the Patriots.
Well, they will both have to defeat the Cowboys first.
Okay, so
you get no love here.
Forgive my loquaciousness, but I have to come with a few facts.
Loquacious.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
Uh-oh.
SAT word. Look that up.
Talkative.
So, Atlanta has improved their defense significantly, particularly on the defensive line. They have a young cat, Beasley, who is actually up for Defensive Player of the Year, 13.5 plus sacks in the regular season.
Linebacker.
Yeah. I don't think that defensive line has enough to stymie the Cowboys' offensive line for an entire game. It will not be a low-scoring game. It will be a high-scoring game in the NFC Championship. But I've seen Beasley get key stops, key sacks.
You think he's going to beat Seattle then?
I think that Atlanta's going to beat Seattle, and I think it's going to come down to a key defensive stop in that game between the Falcons and the Cowboys. And I think the Falcons will beat the Cowboys and go to the Super Bowl. And I think that they will lose to the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm worried about Pittsburgh, but New England just, they have a way of getting to the Super Bowl. They just have a knack for getting to the Super Bowl.
New England has a way of getting there when everything's optimal. They don't have Rob Gronkowski. They're going to look like the Giants did this year. They're not going. They'll make it past the first round because they're playing the Texans, who don't have their starting quarterback. They will not make it past either Kansas City or Pittsburgh, and I don't care that they have to go to Foxborough. I'm putting that out there right now. If they had Gronk, I would give it to the Patriots. They don't have Gronk.
Shoot, I would love to see Kansas City win. That's who I would really love to see.
I don't have no problem with that. I love Andy Reid. I've been a big fan of his since his Philly days. But I don't think he's going to be able to beat the Killer Bees. Like, this is the first time the Killer Bees have played together in the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger, the Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, you don't have no faith in them, though. So they won't lose until they meet the Cowboys. And the only reason the Cowboys will beat them is because they won't have the opportunity to be on the field long enough to make a difference.
Any of those AFC teams are good. You can't really lose between the Patriots, the Steelers, and the Chiefs. Like, all three of them are great.
You got the Texans.
I'm ruling them out. I've already X'd them out.
Yes.
Yeah. They're totally not a part of this equation.
Ran.
But earlier in the
season,
I definitely
I would
said
die
the Chiefs. I would love to see the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl.
Me too. I ain't gonna lie, I would too.
Well, and real talk, like if we didn't have Clowney over there
in Texas,
if Clowney,
J.J. Watt is hurt.
Yeah, but Clowney can still get after Brady. Like it's all about quarterback pressure in the playoffs. Let's not like if you can put pressure on the quarterback, or if you can frazzle the quarterback, then you can disrupt team's offense enough to carve out a victory. I mean, we've seen that throughout all of the 2000s. Those are the teams that have eked out victories defensively, and that is what I thought that I was going to see out of the Giants. I didn't, but that is what I've seen out of the Falcons, and
So you got Falcons losing to the Patriots?
I have the Falcons losing to the Patriots.
You have
what, winning the Super Bowl?
Who's in the Super Bowl? Who wins?
This is so hard. Can we say, all right, so I don't even want to make a prediction.
Come on, Mel. Make a prediction.
I'm gonna go Falcons, Chiefs. No,
who wins?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really have no idea. Falcons. Let's just say the Falcons go to the Super Bowl. Whoever comes from the AFC, I don't know. I feel like whoever comes from the AFC will probably beat the NFC team, though.
Okay, so whoever wins the AFC beats the Falcons.
Unless it's the Green Bay Packers. I don't know. I'm totally lost.
Okay, and I got
I'm all over the place.
Cowboys and the Steelers meeting, and the Cowboys beating them to even the series of most Super Bowls 6-6 between the Cowboys and the Steelers.
Okay.
And we did our MVPs. JB had Dak Prescott. Bill has
Le'Veon Bell.
Woo! And I had Ezekiel Elliott. Our Netflix and chill movie really quickly is called Hidden Figures. Mel, what is it about?
All right. Shout out to African American women doing it big in mathematics. These 3 women were responsible for the mathematical equations that led to the astronauts being able to orbit the Earth on the Apollo 11 space mission. So, that's basically it. I saw it on Christmas. It was released in limited release then, but now it finally came out on January 6th. It starred Taraji P. It's got Olivia Spencer, and it also has Janelle Monáe. And all 3 of them did a phenomenal job. Kevin Costner was in it. JB, you were saying before, anything with Kevin Costner in it, Oscar worthy. So
go see it. I haven't seen it yet. JB hasn't seen it yet. I'm trying to go see it this week.
Definitely trying to
support our sisters.
The historical accuracy.
Yeah, and they're from the Virginia area, Hampton Roads, Hampton.
All 3 of them all grew up in Hampton, and one of them went to Hampton. Olivia Spencer's character went to Hampton. Yes.
Okay. Make sure you
and
check it out.
And they're all AKAs.
Okay. Make sure you check that out. Definitely check that out.
Big time.
Our Can You Hear Me Now segment, we give you 1 minute to kind of break down something that you've been wanting to talk about, something that's on your mind, and then we're going to let you get back to your Sunday night. Who wants to take it first?
I'll go first. So we spent a little time earlier talking about Donald Trump and what's going on in Russia and how Russia influenced the election. It's really important that we as a people look back at history and analyze history in the context of what is going on right now. We really have to watch out for what Trump is doing, and we have to countermand his activities at every turn we possibly can. Support the Black Love Boycott, because that will directly influence your individual communities. But look at what's going to happen in local government, and also look at what happens in your financial markets. If you've got money to invest, build wealth, because you're going to need it.
Amen to that. We could definitely need to delve deeper into that on another day. My Can You Hear Me Now moment would be about dieting. This past week, I for one am not a vegetarian. I love eating my steaks. I love lamb. I love chicken. I love my shellfish. I love all kinds of seafood and everything. But I did take it upon myself to reduce the amount of meat that I am consuming in my diet and also up the amount of plants that I'm eating. So I'm kind of like a pseudo-vegetarian at this point, but I'm still eating meat. I said all that to say that I've lost 4 pounds this week. And I can't ignore that. So I want to encourage people. I mean, we eat far too much meat as it is. As Americans, they like push meat as like part of your diet. But you don't need meat to be healthy. You need to be eating more plants. Your body will thank you for it. I feel better. Once I actually start adding my workout back into the equation, that's 4 pounds without even working out. You know what I'm saying? So once I actually start working out, I can only, you know, I'm excited to see the results from that. So I just wanted to talk about that. Eat more plants, eat more raw foods, go to shop at Simply Produce and buy your vegetables there. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a vegetarian, but I can't ignore results.
There it is.
All right, and I'll piggyback off of that for my final, can you hear me now? And it's the Black Love Boycott. Our January goal is to purchase, to support a black grocery store, black-owned farmers market, black-owned uncooked foods supplier, or black-owned dessert company. What that means is you want to go to the farmer's market and get your fruits and your vegetables, and it's black-owned. You go to a black-owned grocery store to get your food, your meats, and your other supplies. Or if you don't have any of that in your area, maybe you go to a black-owned fruit stand. Maybe you go to a black-owned dessert company. You know, it's about supporting our own every month of the year. We switch it up. Right now, we're in this category. We'll do black-owned banks. We'll do black clothing lines. We'll do black colleges. We have a way to celebrate everything that we do over the course of 2017. So I want to make sure in this month, January, you're supporting that. And you're using the hashtag Black Love Boycott. Boycott. We're not just boycotting stuff and saying, we're not going to spend any money and we're going to punish ourselves because it's Black Friday, everything's cheap, but we're not going to buy anything. No, we're not punishing ourselves. That's stupid to me.
Thank you.
What we're going to do is come up with a way to reward ourselves, reward our community. And if you're taking off for MLK, which I just put in my leave for, I was just made aware that I'm supposed to use that as a day of service. I was going to chill, play some Madden, some Smash Brothers. Now I understand that it's a day of service. So if you're taking off, if you're off on MLK Day, join me for at least a few hours of that day to do some service for the community.
Yeah, I just want to add, to the Black Boycott Initiative, find innovative ways of supporting black businesses. We all go to black barbers, yes, black grocers, black mechanics, black electricians, black repairmen, black delivery men. They're out there. Mm-hmm. Let's find them. Let's support them. Let's support ourselves.
It may take a little bit more work, but it's totally worth it. You'll feel so much better.
Absolutely.
Supporting your community.
And we're gonna run down all the products that we've been supporting as of late.
Absolutely.
We'll do that. We'll do that next week. I promise you, we'll do that next week. We'll do it before the month is out. It's about that time. So thank you for tuning in. God bless you. Good night. To all my Negro friends.
These folks.
We're
done.
No, I'm just
Good night. God bless.
Uno, we out.